What is going on, guys? Caleb here. Welcome back to the channel. If you are brand new, thank you so much for popping in. I really appreciate it. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and whatnot. I'm actually just testing out the brand new setup. I've got a new camera, actually. I'm testing out the mic, and I've got a new recorder that I'm just kind of chilling with, and I thought, hey, might as well just make a little video and see how it goes. And one of the topics I guess I wanted to talk about is I saw recently Nik Nocturnal just put out a video about should bands still make CDs essentially? Should albums continue to be made, especially metal bands? And I thought it was a very interesting video, and 5 seconds in I knew exactly what his stance was on the topic. And he makes a very good stance, and I really liked some of the points that he made, and I'm kind of going to reiterate some of that and maybe even dig a little bit deeper into my thoughts. So this is just a completely unscripted video, just me rambling on for probably like 10 minutes, but I'm just trying something new. Why not? Got the video camera, got the new pod mic. I'm still going to be doing the other kinds of videos, but I thought I would just try this new setup. It's just, it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. So should bands continue to make albums? I think, straight up, in my opinion, I think no. I think the answer is no. I think CDs and full-length albums are over, man. They are becoming a thing of the past, which is crazy to think. I mean, there was a point where CDs were the only form of media that I was able to consume, and I have a huge CD collection, and unfortunately the worst part about it is I right now do not own a single thing that plays CDs. My computer doesn't have a disc drive anymore. My car doesn't have a disc drive anymore. I don't have a single thing that I can even listen to CDs with. Back in 2012, 2009, when I was in high school, it was just a thing to drive around and listen to music. I mean, kids would literally just hop in their car. We would drive around all weekend and listen to whoever's newest album. It was just a completely different time. I mean, now we've got access to all of the music that we want at our fingertips by Spotify. Spotify has literally given us infinite music, and it's alarming. It's alarming, but at the same time, the bands that can adjust to that are the bands that are going to survive. Every band who is able to just roll with the punches are the ones that are going to make it through this. Now, some bands I think are doing it better than others, and some are just testing the waters. I think at this point, everybody's testing the waters, and that is absolutely and completely fair. One example of that is Memphis May Fire. I think Memphis May Fire, and I think Nik Nocturnal brought them up, I think they've got it figured out as better than any other metalcore band that I can think of. They have been releasing tracks off their newest album for like a freaking year, dude. No joke. I mentioned this in a video a way long time ago. Dude, at this point, instead of releasing a full-length album, if you can write a 12-track album and release one single a month, you've got a year's worth of music to release. And I think that would bring way more attention to your band than releasing an album. Another thing that's also just kind of shifted insanely was touring. Touring has been an absolutely insane switch, especially with this pandemic. We have not been able to tour or just check out bands as much as we used to. I mean, I hate saying back in the day as if I'm like 30 years old, but I'm practically 30 years old. Back in the day, a band, for example, A Day to Remember. Homesick is probably one of my top two favorite albums of all time. I mean, without Homesick, there was no metalcore for me. There was no Warped Tour for me. So metalcore and my emo style, it started with Homesick. Homesick was huge for me. So Homesick came out. I was obsessed with every track on the album. Me and my friends would drive around. We would literally listen to that album non-stop. It's the greatest, it's in my opinion, one of the greatest metalcore, pop punk, post-hardcore albums pretty much on the entire planet. And we would listen to that all the time. That came out in, I think, like 2010. Or no, 2000. I don't even remember when the frick that came out. Anyways, their next album, they dropped 3 singles for their next album, What Separates You From Me. And I think, All Signs Point to Lauderdale, All I Want, and another one. All Signs Point to Lauderdale, I'm pretty sure came out, I don't know, 5 months before the album's release. And they actually released the last two singles 1 month before the album's release. So they were riding off of that album drop on essentially one single and then two just random singles that like pretty much got leaked beforehand. I mean, they were released by the band, but they didn't come out, months in advance, a year in advance. And dude, everybody in the metalcore scene, everyone in the scene was talking about What Separates You From Me. Everybody was listening to that album. It was crazy. Same thing with Memphis Mayfire. Same thing with Asking Alexandria's new album. Everyone was like, "Did you listen to their new album?" I have not heard somebody say, "Have you listened to their new album?" in so long. Like, that is just foreign verbiage to me at this point. No one has come up to me and say, "Did you listen to Yada Yada's new album?" The answer is freaking no. The answer is no. I don't know who it is. And dude, it's so weird because I'm even guilty of that myself. I have not been stoked about albums in a really long time. I've been really stoked about singles. Singles are what just drives it. I mean, Spotify, every Friday, a new band drops a single. And sometimes bands drop an entire album, but I don't go to that album. At this point, I open up Spotify on a Friday. I see that Memphis Mayfire has a brand new single. Straight from the Path has a brand new single. Rain City Drive has a brand new single. That's 3 singles that I can drop into my liked songs and repeat throughout the week, throughout the month, and I listen to those 3 nonstop. And I mean, there's tons of other bands. It's like this band drops an album or drops a song, dude, I'm adding it. At this point, I am not adding an entire album to my liked songs and listening to an entire album just so I can be like, dude, I need to skip ahead and listen to Guillotine by Straight from the Path. So that I think that is really impacting the fact that people are not listening to full albums, because a full album is just, we're not driving down the street popping in one album to listen to front to back and say, dude, that's a terrific album. We are now listening to the latest single and then we're jumping to the next latest single. So I think as much as it sucks, just how content is consumed has just changed dramatically. And, that's just how it is, dude. And I think bands are just going to have to adjust to that. And I don't know if that's easier or harder. As a band, I figure it might be a little bit easier, honestly. It's like a lot of times there was just so much riding on that next album. Like, dude, we got to write the most banging album to have job security for the next 2 years. We worked 2 years on this. Instead, now it's like, dude, hang out with the boys, write a single, drop a single. If it's fire, you're good, dude. Coast on that for a little bit. If it's crap, scratch it. 2 weeks, write another one. See how that goes. I don't know if it's that easy logistically, but that's definitely something to, think about maybe. I think another huge impacting thing is touring. Touring has changed insanely with COVID, and I think I literally just brought touring up. I didn't say anything about it already, but when a band drops an album, like in 2012 or something, 10 years ago, and before that, of course, when a band drops an album, they go on a tour to promote the living nuts off of that album. I mean, when I don't know, dude, Wage War dropped their album, they went on a tour, they played that album, dude. You wanted to know every track on that album. If you were going to go to that show, I better know the tracks on this album. And that's kind of how it was, and that changed just so dramatically. I mean, we lost Warped Tour. Every single show was put on halt for over a year. Shows are just now starting to come back, and what do people want? They want their top hits, man. And where do you find their top hits? Straight off of Spotify. I think a band is just doing a disservice by not playing their top 5 hits. I mean, people want to hear your best stuff. People want to hear your best stuff, and that is just put out blatantly by Spotify, and it's a little unnerving. I think times have just changed as far as are the way that we've consumed music. And that's totally fair. I mean, bands just need to adjust to that, is all I'm going to say about it. So, long story short, I probably didn't make any sense in this video. If anything, do you guys like my new setup? How's the mic sound? How's the footage look? Does the camera look nice and clean? I think overall you guys albums are on their way out, which is unfortunate. I have a huge collection that's just going to sit in my closet for the rest of my life. Some of those albums are actually pretty rare. However, dude, I just do not think the day of albums are a thing anymore. We have Spotify, and that's just how it is, man. I think probably, another thing when it comes to touring, when it comes to shows, is you flash that album, you listen to a band, you hear how good they are, you go backstage and buy their album. Now it's like, what's the point of buying an album? I can't even listen to it. I would buy it to get it signed if all the dudes are chilling there and just keep it as a little souvenir, but it doesn't really make sense for me to own albums anymore. My car doesn't even have a freaking CD player, and everything runs off Bluetooth, dude. I'm just plugging in Spotify. If I want to listen to it, it comes out the day it came out. I don't need the CD anymore. I personally think, some bands are adjusting to this really well. I mean, even like Mazda Flames, they've come out with a couple EPs, and they're just, they just write 5 songs, record 5 songs, drop an EP. Why the heck not? Drop a 5-track EP. You've got Memphis Mayfire, who's, at this point, I don't even know when their album comes out, but I know that they've stayed very relevant on my playlists because they drop a single. I'm hooked on that single for an entire month. Then they drop their album. Who knows when? All I know is that in the next month, they're going to drop another single, and it's going to be absolutely awesome. So the day of CDs, the day of album dropping is on its way out, in my opinion, you guys. And I could be completely wrong. That day could come back. Vinyl came back, sorta. I mean, I probably have easier means of listening to a vinyl record than I do a CD, which is completely strange. So who knows? CDs might come back, and Spotify might just get bought by Google and deleted off the planet. But that's my 2 cents on the thing, you guys. Let me know what you thought down in the comments. Let me know if you like my new setup. How's the podcast stuff sound? How's the camera look? Let me know. But anyways, guys, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. This is just a little topic that I thought I'd talk about, just because if Nick's talking about it, it's got to be a hot topic. So thanks, Nick Nocturnal, for the topic. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much, man. I really appreciate all you guys as well. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you guys on the next video.